Audiobook Summary: The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van Kolk. Introduction: Welcome to this audiobook summary of The Body Keeps the Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma by Dr. Bessel van Kolk. This groundbreaking book offers a deep and compassionate look into how trauma shapes the brain and the body, and how healing is truly possible. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Understanding Trauma. Dr. Bessel van Kolk begins by laying the foundation. Trauma is not just something that happens to you. It's something that happens inside you. Traumatic experiences, whether it's childhood neglect, physical abuse, war, or a serious accident, can fundamentally change how your brain functions. Van Kolk explains that trauma rewires the brain's alarm system. The amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for detecting threats, becomes hyperactive. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, which helps with rational thinking and decision-making, often shuts down. This means that trauma survivors may live in a constant state of alert, always expecting danger, even when they're safe. This is not a mental weakness. It's a biological response. Chapter 2. The Brain on Trauma. Van Kolk walks us through the neuroscience of trauma. Brain scans show that when trauma survivors are reminded of their experiences, their brains react as if the trauma is happening all over again. There's no clear boundary between past and present. The hippocampus, which helps us form and recall memories, is also affected. It becomes less active, which can explain why trauma memories are often fragmented or feel unreal. Trauma, in essence, hijacks the brain. Chapter 3. The Body Remembers. One of the most powerful ideas in the book is in the title itself. The body keeps the score. Even if the mind tries to forget, the body remembers. Trauma lives in the body, in muscle tension, in shallow breathing, in chronic pain, and even in gut issues. Chapter 4. Trauma and Development for Children. Trauma is especially devastating. Their brains are still developing, and consistent neglect, abuse, or instability can create lifelong difficulties. Van Kolk shares heartbreaking stories of children who grow up in unsafe environments. They struggle with attachment, trust, and emotional regulation. Without early intervention, these issues often carry into adulthood. He points out that traditional talk therapy often isn't enough. These kids need safety, connection, and experiences that help rewire their brains from the bottom up. Chapter 5. Talk therapy isn't always the answer. Many trauma survivors try talk therapy, and sometimes it works. But Van Kolk argues that simply talking about trauma doesn't always heal it. In some cases, it can even make things worse, especially if the person is re-experiencing the trauma without tools to stay grounded. To truly heal, survivors need to regain a sense of control over their bodies and minds. They need to feel safe, present, and empowered, not just revisit the pain. Chapter 6. Innovative Approaches to Healing. So what does work? Van Kolk explores a range of treatments that go beyond talk therapy. EMDR, a movement desensitization and reprocessing, a powerful method that helps the brain reprocess traumatic memories through guided eye movements or other forms of bilateral stimulation. Yoga and mindfulness. These practices help reconnect the mind and body, encouraging survivors to inhabit their bodies safely again. Neurofeedback, a technique that uses brainwave monitoring to train the brain to become more balanced and self-regulating. Theater and movement. Engaging in creative, embodied activities allows survivors to express their stories without words. The common thread? Each approach helps survivors reclaim their bodies, regulate their emotions, and rebuild their sense of self. Chapter 7. The Importance of Relationships. Healing doesn't happen in isolation. Human connection is essential. Van Kolk emphasizes that safe, supportive relationships are one of the most powerful healing tools. Whether it's through therapy, family, friends, or support groups, being seen, heard, and accepted helps rewire the trauma brain. Trauma often begins in relationships, but so can healing. Chapter 8. Systems need to change. Van Kolk is not just a clinician. He's an advocate. He criticizes how schools, foster care systems, and the justice system often fail trauma survivors. Instead of offering support, they punish the symptoms of trauma, aggression, defiance, withdrawal. He calls for a trauma-informed society, one that recognizes the signs of trauma, provides compassionate care, and promotes healing over punishment. Final thoughts. Healing is possible. The Body Keeps the Score is ultimately a hopeful book. It's about the devastating effects of trauma, but also about the remarkable ability of the human body and mind to heal. With the right tools, support, and approaches, survivors can move from merely surviving to thriving. Kolk teaches us that trauma doesn't have to be a life sentence. The brain can change, the body can heal, and life can be lived fully once again. Conclusion. Thank you for listening to this audiobook summary of The Body Keeps the Score by Dr. Bessel von der Kolk. If you found this valuable, consider reading the full book for deeper insights, personal stories, and practical guidance on trauma recovery. Please like, share, and subscribe for more summaries like this. And remember, healing is a journey.